Hey everyone, this is Rob from Revelation Rain, continuing our series where I'm giving you the history and background on all the different songs on our latest CD, which is called Day of the Lord. You can see part of the album cover right there. Before I go any farther, let me talk about the album cover. When I eventually get back to going through the songs on Vengeance is Mine, I'll talk about that album cover as well. It's got a funny story to it. But with Day of the Lord, the album cover, it's one of those things where I wanted for it, of course, to have a biblical application, and I wanted for it to reflect the times that we're living in now, because I truly believe that we're living in the end times. And what that means is that I believe that the rapture is coming soon, which means inevitably, there we go, the day of the Lord will be coming soon. So with that title in mind, I knew then obviously 2 Peter 3:10 would tie in as far as the scripture, but what could we have that would visually represent that title? Because Day of the Lord, I think is a good title for the record, because it encapsulates a lot of the songs that we're doing. Okay, a lot of the songs that we have on this record definitely talk about, obviously, God, salvation, end times. All right, so we need a visual representation. And if you see the entire cover, you'll see it's the earth, and it's covered in flames. And what does it say in the Bible about the day of the Lord? Well, look up 2 Peter 3:10. So that's kind of the story behind the cover. I found, again, you have to go and find like royalty-free pictures, ones that aren't copyright. They don't have a copyright on them. So going through and finding an image that was, one, we could use, and two, would represent the title of the album. I came across this and then ran it through a program that I have to put the font, our logo, and the Day of the Lord album title on there. And it turned out pretty nicely. All the guys were pleased with it and thought that it fit well, and that's what we went with. So briefly, that's the history behind the album cover. So the next song that we're going to talk about is a song called If You. And this song probably has the most history behind it. It's also the shortest song that we've ever recorded. Now, on Vengeance is Mine, we had a song called Night Falls Fast, which was a really pretty short song, but even shorter than that is the song New Kind of Man, which opens the album. But even shorter than New Kind of Man is the song If You on Day of the Lord. And it's track number 6, so it's getting close to the end of the album. All right, again, the song before that, if you're looking behind me, you might be able to see it. There's a history behind Forgiveness. So that was the ballad. So coming off the ballad, you obviously want to pick up the pace again. It's like running a marathon. When you get close to the finish line, pick up the pace, okay? So now we're going to end the album with a bang, with 2 back-to-back solid hard hitters. And the first is If You, okay? And I want to make sure I get everything in. So on the record, there's obviously a space to differentiate between the tracks, between If You and track number 7, which is Revelation Reign, R-E-I-G-N, which I'll talk about in the next video. But when we play those songs live, those songs always are back to back. We go from If You right into Revelation Reign. No pause, nothing. It just goes right into it, and it sounds great. It's fantastic. So those 2 tracks live are always back to back, right with each other. So If You is probably, musically speaking, the music that I wrote for that track, the bulk of it, except for what you hear during the chorus, all of that was written when I was probably 16 years old. 1991, 1992, right around there. It's the oldest song. It's the very first song that I truly wrote. Now, I'd written some songs before that. Even before I learned how to play guitar, I would write lyrics and then just imagine in my head what the instruments would be doing. And then when I started learning how to play guitar, you know, I would write songs, so to speak. Usually it was just like a couple of chords that sounded cool together, and then maybe try to make a song out of it. But the one song that had true structure, lyrics, and everything, I mean, a real complete song, is this one. And it was not called If You back then. In fact, this was before I got saved. So the song was about an ex-girlfriend, okay? And about how she was always messing with someone's mind, namely mine, and out of convenience would want to come back. Okay, excuse me. And I was a little more coarse and a little bit more harsh back then. I wasn't saved. So the title of the song was The Beach is Back. I'm saying beach, but you can figure out what it really means. All right, something about a female dog. So it was called The Beach is Back. That's what it was initially called. The lyrics spoke to just that. You know, I'm trying to remember what the original lyrics were. She won't look at me. That's really just too bad, because the whole world sees I'm the best she ever had. I mean, the lyrics were good, but they were also bad because of, you know, the title, and that's what it would say in the chorus. And the chorus music was different. Okay. When I first wrote it, it had a completely different chord structure for the chorus, which I thought was okay at the time, but later on I would change it. So that was the name of the song, and I remember when we did a school talent show, we played that song. Now, we couldn't play it with the lyrics because, like I said, they weren't exactly appropriate. So we did the song as an instrumental, and then went into Enter Sandman by Metallica with lyrics. So that's what we did for our school talent show. So that song has been around for that long. Like I said, a high school talent show. Now, eventually, I would keep the music and the lyrics the same, but I knew that if ever, we were to put that on a record, that title probably would not fly. So I changed it to, and again, this still isn't the most appropriate title by any means, but it was before I was saved. This was probably after I got out of college. I was living in Grand Rapids and had a band there, and this is when I changed the title to Menstrual Psycho, which I thought was a good play on words, you know, menstrual cycle, menstrual psycho, and it kind of tied in with the lyrics. So that became the title of the song, but I think all the lyrics remained the same. So during the chorus, we're still saying, you know, the beach is back. Okay. So the song got put on the shelf, especially once I got saved. I just knew I didn't want to deal with those titles. I didn't want to deal with those lyrics. But in the back of my mind, I always liked the music. Not the chorus part so much, but what you hear during the verses and the bridge, I thought was great, especially for a 16-year-old. But it holds up well. So anyway, when we started writing songs for Day of the Lord, again, I hearkened back to that musical piece, and I thought, I know we could do something with this. And I was playing around on a guitar, and I came up with this really cool riff, which is what you now hear on the chorus of the song. And I rewrote the lyrics so that they were more appropriate, and obviously dealing with the topics that we covered now at hand, and changed the title to If You, because in the chorus we're basically singing Romans 10:9. If you confess with your mouth, and if you believe in your heart, and then you will be saved. If you his blood impart. So it's about getting saved. It's Romans 10:9, and then of course applying, you know, you have to trust on the blood. If you his blood impart. You have to impart his blood on your behalf. Trusting on the blood. Romans 3:25. So that's what the song became, the chorus. And the chorus riff now is just killer. I love it. It's a great riff, and it meshed well with the previous parts that I had for the for the verses and the bridge. So the song came together pretty quickly, musically, and then once I had the lyrics in place, I brought it to the band, and they liked it too, so we rehearsed it. It didn't take long to learn, and like I said, it's only 2 minutes long. And then I remember shortly thereafter, and I'll talk more about this in the next video, when JT brought Revelation Rain, And once that was completed and we had that in place, to me, it just seemed like a natural that where we end "If You" on that chord, we could sustain that, hold that, and then go right into Revelation Rain. And it worked perfectly. And the guys liked it, and we worked that up really well, and that's how it remains. Again, not on the CD because you have to have spacing between the tracks to differentiate between track 6 and track 7. But when we play it live, we come out of "If You," we hold that note, and then the bass and drums come in, and there we are on that guitar riff for Revelation Rain. But yeah, "If You" has a long history, like I say, going back, 1991, 1992. And it's just now finally getting its proper treatment, its just due. But it had to go through some changes. Obviously, lyrically, it needed to change. The title needed to change. But even that chorus piece that I had originally, I was never really overly fond of it. I thought it was okay, and I thought it worked pretty good. But what is there now is far better, much better. So yes, it is the shortest track, not only on this album, but it is the shortest track that we've ever done. It comes in at just under 2 minutes. I think 1:58, right around 2 minutes. So trying to think if there's anything that we added when we went into record. I think pretty much it was just straight ahead. It's just a really solid hitter. I mean, for that 2 minutes, it's go, go, go. And having the backing vocals the way they are, where you're kind of saying the "if you" and "then you," it just kind of gives it that emphasis. That salvation does have some conditions. You have to know, and I've talked about this on my other channel, the who and the what. You have to know who Jesus is, God in the flesh, and know what He did. The death, burial, resurrection, trusting on that atoning blood. That's salvation. So that's what I wanted for this song, again, to tie in with our message, our Christian message, with the title, especially leading into Revelation Rain. The two songs mesh not just musically but lyrically as well. It's one of those tracks that has come a long way, and I'm glad it's on the album. It's the first song that I ever really wrote with structure and everything else. There's other songs that are right around that era, such as "I'm Your Way" and "I Want You." Those are songs that have been around right around that same time. But "If You," or what it was formerly called, is the first. So it's just interesting. The very first song that I truly wrote and had chords and lyrics and structure and all that in place, finally has been recorded to a CD and has lasted all this time. And doesn't sound dated by any means, I don't think. I think it fits well with anything that's going on right now, which is good. So it has a classic sound to it, but also a contemporary sound, and that's a good marriage to have. So anyway, that's the history, the story, the background behind that song. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. It looks like it. There's decent number of views. I need to promote it a little bit more. I've been out of town, so I haven't been able to do that. But I start promoting these videos more. I think they'll get a lot more views. I know I find it interesting to learn the history behind some of my favorite songs. So anyway, as I've stated before, you need to get "Day of the Lord." It's a great CD. It's a great record. If you are into digital downloads or digital streaming, we are on over 150 different digital platforms. You can find the album there, or you can buy individual tracks, however you want to do it. If you like a physical, tangible copy, like I do, then you can order a CD. Again, there's 14 tracks. We really went all out on the packaging. $10 for the CD, and you get 14 songs. All you have to do is email revelationrainonline@yahoo.com. revelationrainonline@yahoo.com. All right, and we'll send one right out to you. If you want it signed, I think we have a few left. Those are 15, but you get our autographs. I mean, that makes it worth at least $1.50 more. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Take care, and God bless.